For me, the hardest part was that you have a huge goal, right? And then you need to kind of cut it into pieces and start from something small. And piece by piece, you need to collect it in a big vision and a big goal. That we were accepted to an accelerator 2 days before the war has been started. And that's crazy. Very great resources for the beginning to start your business. Some acceleration gives you great visibility and partnership right from the start and open for you many doors. It's okay to fail because you will fail more times than you will succeed. All the time. Don't be afraid of that. That's okay.
Hi everyone, this is Raisable Founders Hub. Welcome to our new episode. Today we have a special guest, a serial entrepreneur based in San Francisco, Anna Stepura. And I met Anna a few years ago in 2022, actually at one of my networking events. And since that time, Anna closed her first startup. She made it to Alchemist Accelerator program. She has launched another startup and she sold it less than in a year. What an incredible traction for the founder that recently came here to Silicon Valley. So make sure to watch this video till the end because we will start from the beginning and we will discuss step by step what Anna did in order to succeed here in Silicon Valley. And also, before we dive deeper, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and ask your questions in the comment section because this will also help us to promote this content, and we actually record this content to help founders across the globe to launch their startups and help them build successful companies. Anna, hi, thank you very much for joining us. And I want to start with a question. When you have just arrived to San Francisco, what were your expectations versus reality? Can you please elaborate a bit?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me here. And starting from the very beginning, I remember that I had a dream, very big dream, back to my school, to my university, that one day I will come to Silicon Valley to have a business. I didn't know which business I want to start at that moment. At that moment, I never been even an entrepreneur. So, but somehow it worked out. So with the startup which we had back to Ukraine, we came because of acceleration program. And of course, I have that big dream. I have this picture in my mind that is Golden Gate Bridge and very successful country, many tech companies, innovations. And then when you came, you just understand that the reality sometimes is not like that. Because I remember I came to Tenderloin, that district. And it was my first day in the United States. Just right away, I go to Tenderloin and it's just crazy experience. There's lots of homeless people, drugs everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, is it the Silicon Valley? But the reality is that there is not only Tenderloin, as well as not only Silicon Valley, it's not only tech, but there's lots of other things here. I discovered it later. So my expectations was very high, but the reality for me was completely not what I expected. Also, it was post-COVID time, so we came to the office and there was no one. And it was like, where is all the startup founders? And they're online. And we were like, oh, we would like to kind of have a chat with someone. We would like to make connections, but there is no one with who you can talk. So it was hard in the beginning, also because I came right after the war has been started. Actually, it's a very interesting fact that we were accepted to an accelerator 2 days before the war has been started. And that's crazy.
What kind of acceleration program was it?
It was Alchemist Accelerator. There is a accelerator which is focused on B2B enterprise companies, especially in digital health, AI, and robotics. So we were in digital health plus AI in that moment. So that's how we were accepted.
How many times have you actually applied to acceleration program? Which try was it?
It was the first one.
The first one?
Yes, we applied to 3 different accelerators. One was in Poland, another was in Spain, Startup Wise Guys, and another one was in Silicon Valley. Alchemist Accelerator, and we were accepted to 3 of them, just like one by one. And I remember when we just started pre-acceleration launch, something like that in Startup Wise Guys. And right after that, Alchemist one more time emailed me and asked like, will you sign actually the contract? And I was like, which contract? I didn't have any. And something happened with the mail at that moment, and they was waiting for us for 1 month that we will sign the contract. And we almost lost that deal. So in the last evening, I started like reading through the contract and signing it because it was a great opportunity for us. It was a life-changing experience. And I'm so grateful for that.
Okay, so if let's dive deeper into the acceleration program. Tell a bit what was the most important lessons you have learned in the acceleration program.
It was a lot of lessons. It was 6 months acceleration.
6 months?
Yeah, it's not like by combinator.
How much time did it take you, like every day or every week?
No, it was once a week. It was lectures, 3 or 4 hours lectures every Thursday. And I remember sometimes it was some additional classes which you have to attend. And also we have every week the meeting with mentors. It was one sales mentor and one CEO mentor. And as well as we have our board committee, it's like we met with them once a month, I believe, and we have to report all our like traction and what we've done so far to achieve our KPIs. It was my less pleasant meeting because they were so like diving very deep, and they was like asking why you didn't achieve it or why you like didn't do this and that. So it was really tough conversation all the time, but it was meant to be like that because you have to report. And you have to know how to deal with a very hard conversation, especially when you're dealing with investors, with the more serious partnerships in the future.
So what were key metrics they were looking for and kept asking questions?
Oh, it was depending on your growth stage, where you are and what you would like to achieve. For us, it was delivering the product and acquiring new users and finding product market fit. And then with them, you are deciding as a founder what you have to do for that. And for me, the hardest part was that you have a huge goal, right? And then you need to kind of cut it into pieces and start from something small. And piece by piece, you need to collect it in a big vision and a big goal. And when you're the first-time founder, many times you don't know what to do and what not to do. And many times you're spending so much time on the not necessary things, but you don't know what is a necessary thing at that exact stage, at that exact moment. And yeah.
Nice. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what were unnecessary things you were doing?
Oh, it's hard already to remember because I think like just realizing all my experience at that moment was a ton of different things. For example, like hiring people from the very beginning because founders sometimes are not kind of confident that they can deliver something by their own. Right now with AI, it's much easier, but we were in that moment when it was before ChatGPT, and we like if we don't know how to do, for example, this, we kind of started thinking about, okay, we need to invest our either own money, either like to find acceleration investors, because we need to deliver this, and for this we need to hire this person. Right now, I'm thinking in a different way. So you have your resources, you have your co-founder, and then you are thinking what you can deliver in the shorter period of time, like a minimum viable product, or like achieve some milestones with all the resources which you have so far, or like what is the bare minimum which you have to get or like do in order to deliver something, you know, because that was a shift from being like employee in enterprise or a big company, right, leading a huge team, and right now you're like a founder and usually you have 2 people, 3 people, 5 people in the beginning. I remember at the moment we had like 8 people, and it was crazy because it was not necessary to have 8 people at that moment, and we were building like something pretty complex. I knew that it was not the right thing, that we always have to make it easier and easier and easier. And every stand-up, I said the same thing. Let's to do it easier and faster. Can we skip something or like deliver maybe not on such a great architectural system, but to deliver it actually faster? Because there is another point that you have to fail fast. What if this idea is not so valuable for people and they are not ready to pay for that? You have to validate very fast. You have to go to ICP.
ICP, tell us, what is ICP?
Okay, ICP is Ideal Customer Profile. And that's very important part in every startup, I think, in every business, especially in the very beginning. Once you're starting, you're creating some product, your idea, right? You want to create something, and you need to know for whom you are creating this and why you're creating, and do these people really need it? Because what if not? Then you're just spending your time, your resources for nothing, to fail actually. So, and it's better to fail fast and to validate, is it worth to try or to continue to develop this or not? And with the marketing background, because I'm a marketer by my background, I was more than 8 years in marketing. And before startup, I was leading teams, was head of marketing of organizations. And I knew that this is a very important thing, but I never tried, in my own tech startup before. But after I've tried, I realized how important it is. For example, ideal customer profile, it's that you have imagination of the person for whom you are building this product. And then you have to go to this type of people and give it to them and ask the feedback, if they really need it or not. There is also another thing that maybe you don't know yet for whom you are building. Or you're thinking that, okay, this is all in one platform for everyone in this world. This is not true. And this is a very wrong approach to do that. Usually you have to identify what is your niche, and the more smaller niche is, the better it is.
I think this is one of the most common mistakes majority of founders keep doing, and I'm wondering, did you expect at that moment that you will begin from the beginning actually? Yeah, because you were into product already. Have you raised any money, by the way?
We raised angel round.
Yeah, so you raised money, you actually sort of built MVP, yeah. You were thinking, when people move to the US, they think how to scale this, what they built. And now you were accepted to this accelerator and they started with ICP. What were your thoughts about that and your team?
Yeah, we thought that we knew everything better. And we thought that, okay, this part we already can skip because we already have product and we can continue building, and that's it. And only later I realized that actually there is not the guarantee that our product is needed. This is very bad feeling when you have to kind of make step back, not forward.
Accept this, yep.
And accept it and actually make that step back and kind of redo one thing. But with the time I realized, okay, if you understood it very fast, then you can make step back, do it one more time in a better way, and then move forward. But if you continue to do steps forward, but you've done something from the very beginning in the wrong way, then eventually you have to come back and you have to do it one more time. But it will be even more painful experience than if you will realize it from the very beginning. So we were pivoting many times with that idea, be trying to find what is our ICP, because we were okay, we are doing the thing for everyone who are doing fitness or any activities in sports. And actually it was not like that, because we need to deliver the product what we are talking about, and in order to deliver we have to have more niche ICP.
What about your team? Because, okay, you've been here, so you were at this atmosphere where many people, successful people with a reputation influenced you, But then you need to go and speak with your team and actually convince them to start from early beginning. Can you tell us a bit about how this conversation happened?
Yes, of course. In the beginning, you are trying to convince people, but then I think with the time, you just understand that sometimes you need to take full responsibility for what you're doing, and you just need to lead a team. Mm-hmm. You don't need anymore to convince everyone and kind of try to please them to do something what you really want to do, but you cannot give them the brain which you already have. You cannot immerse them in the surrounding where you are if they are not here. So in that moment, I just came to the realization that you have to be able to lead. And in order to lead, you have to be more mature. You have to know much more than people who actually work for you or work on this idea.
And what about your co-founder? I remember there were two co-founders, yeah?
Yes. About Daria. Oh my God, she's an amazing person. I think that's a very unique combination when you find someone with who you really have the same vision, but you have complementary skills. Many times people are doing collaborations, for example, technical plus technical people, and then they don't have any expertise in marketing or product or talking to users. and or vice versa, right? So it's very important to have complementary skills. I think it's like very important part which will identify your success in the future. But like we have lots of different stories, you know, every story is unique, and we were both female founders, and this is also a very interesting experience because it's much harder, I believe. I try not to underline it. I try not to I never complain about that, but it is still not equal surrounding in tech and in the world in general. Like not so many women actually lead organizations, companies, and so on.
But did you have the same view on what to do next?
Yeah, we had pretty similar understanding. Like in the beginning, the vision was the same. And then every time when we have to deal with like whatever ideas, she had many ideas, I had many ideas, then we brainstorm. And it's very important to spend with your co-founder as much time as you can and talk not only about work, but also talk about life and emotional experience. And I remember for some periods of life, we were like accountability partners for each other. And it actually helped us to move faster and achieve goals much faster because you know, the hardest part was that you have not only to improve your knowledge from the tech perspective, from the business perspective, but you have to improve everything in your life. And you are also like new to this surrounding. You've never been to the United States, and now you immigrate here, and you're building something from scratch. You know, with no one.
Did you move together?
Yeah, we were here together.
And now?
And now she were in the United States till the recent time, but now she is outside of the United States.
Okay, and so did you take part at the acceleration program together?
Yeah.
Okay, so and to these mentorship sessions and to these board meetings, you were together?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what were your roles?
I was a CEO and she was CTO.
CTO, okay, got it. And so what are three key learnings from the Accelerator program, and then we will move forward?
From Accelerator, I mean.
Okay, they turned you to go back and start from ICP.
Not them, but they kind of giving you some suggestions, and you have to do that.
Yes, of course.
So my key learning was in general like the overview how you can start a business from scratch, because one more time, I highly recommend to every entrepreneur who never like started business before to have such opportunity to go to acceleration program or to business school or to anything else, because it could sound great from YouTube videos that, oh, you do this, but until you have like at least some kind of whole picture in your mind, it's hard to move forward. So the first thing that they actually explained us about is like, okay, marketing, this is like the product, this is how you need to talk to your customers, this is how you need to raise money, lots of different parts, right? And you cannot raise money if you don't have idea, vision, product. You cannot build product if you don't have resources. You will not have sales if you don't know how to talk to people and convince to buy a product when it's just in the very beginning. So that's another part, right? Because one thing when it's already growing company which has for sure product market fit, but another part when you are searching for that and you have to find that people who would like to partner with you, who would like to buy from you, invest in you. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, actually, you mentioned the very important things when summarizing the acceleration program. So thank you. It's very helpful. Would you go to acceleration program again?
It depends on what the benefits from that, because okay, overall view I understand, but for example, some acceleration program give you very great resources for the beginning to start your business. Some acceleration give you great visibility and partnership right from the start and open for you many doors. Because once you, for example, either in a new industry or starting something new, it's very important to be backed by top people or people who know much more than you or who can introduce you to the right people in the right time, in the right moment. It's kind of a shortcut, you know, because you can do it by yourself if you want very much, but it will take a longer time than if you will partner and collaborate with someone.
Airsport online and HireGPT is such a different things, different products, different industries, different problems that you solve to different target audiences. So my first question will be, at what point have you decided to close your startup and was it difficult, and how much time did it take you?
It was difficult. Actually, there was a time when the market crashed in the United States, and right before we have to raise normal round, it was the problem with Silicon Valley Bank, and there it was just like people was freezing and don't know what to do.
Did you have any interest from investors?
Yes, we had a great interest, and we were about to launch new version of product. We actually find a very great niche, and so on. But my also like takeaway from that you need to look closer into the market where you are, because you can succeed in every industry, in every market. It just depends like how you move, do you do right actions or not. But some markets are helping you with that, and some markets are not helping you, and you need to push. And
more difficult,
yes,
yeah?
it's difficult
Environment.
Yes. Some markets are smaller than others. And it's also very important, because in a big market, no matter if you have even the same, for example, fintech market, it's a huge market. And I remember I met a founder who told me that, you know, Anna, even though if we will create the same solution as our competitors, like nothing different, we still will have some portion of market, and it will be okay, and it will be great business, because there is enough space for everyone. You know, and in some markets it could be not enough space. Some markets are not ready for innovation. Some markets are ready for that, and they are kind of implementing it very fast and so on. But going back to why we stopped, because we iterated many times, we understood that, okay, this is very complex idea, which we already in that moment, we cannot deliver by our own. It already was a huge part of development, machine learning, R&D process. It was computer vision, deep tech, and we realized, okay, we need lots of resources for that, and we don't have that. And it seems like environment didn't help you to get that resources. Just the economy starts to be harder, and nothing works. And as a founder, at some point, you just can lose that, not passion, but I mean that hope that you can do actually here, and it just started to be a very drawing experience. It doesn't make you happy, didn't bring you joy, and you don't see the results. You know, in the startup, it's very important part, momentum and speed. And we just was like, okay, it's so hard. We don't know. We still kind of like try to figure out, but at not the same time, we kind of decided to stop and to figure out what to do next, because maybe we will come back to this idea, maybe not, who knows, but we decided to make a pause. And after that,
you called it pause, not like total stop?
Yes, at that moment, yes.
And how much time did it take you? Like
a couple of months.
A couple of months?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we was working on that for more than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was only like a year or more than a year after acceleration, but we was working before acceleration.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to actually be honest to yourself that you can fail and maybe it will not work out. But I highly recommend to everyone to be honest with yourself all the time. All the time. I don't know, like write down and put on your screen or wherever, at any place, that you have to be honest with yourself all the time. We kind of decided that we will make a pause, and we started to think like, okay, what we can do next? Because as a founder, you have to like do something. You have to earn money in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It's very expensive to live here, you know it.
It's expensive if you don't use the opportunities this place provides you.
Yes, sure. And like, let's say that moment was hard to take opportunities, because there's like people are freezing, investors are freezing, and as a founder, when you kind of already start losing motivation, it's hard. But then we was like, okay, let's figure out maybe something. And we was hiring for our team in AI sport. And for us, it was very hard experience all the time, but we didn't have so much resources to have a recruiter who will help us. So we try to do it by ourselves. And we had some kind of tool, which was very basic, you know, features, which help us to source all the resumes and understand on who we need to pay more attention, which candidate it will be better for us. And I started to give this tool to different people and ask them, really, you try it? And if you try it, does it help you? And they told me that, okay, that's nice. Actually, I tried with my resumes, all the applicants and candidates, and actually it works. And I was telling to my co-founders that, okay, you know, this is something great. Maybe we will start to do that. And at that moment, we kind of identify who will be on the team, because one more time we decided not to raise money for that because it was very hard surrounding. And we were like, let's bootstrap, do like very necessary steps because we don't have resources for do unnecessary steps. We'll see if it works or not, and that's it. Like, we just want to see if it will work or not. And at that moment, we started to work on HireGPT. Like, development of the product was much faster because we knew what to do, what not to do, and how to validate. I was responsible for like identifying what should be in the product and talking to users and identifying what would be our marketing strategy, how we will push it to the market without the budget, with zero budget. I gathered the group of more than 100 people, and I start interviewing them, asking them like if they need this thing or what's the problem in their like workflow. So it's completely different, story how I asked them and how we did it. But we delivered pretty like nice product at that moment, and we start to see the demand. And this is where also the passion and joy and speed came to us one more time. And we start to focus on that.
But it sounds like it was quite easy for you to reach out to a new audience without having a lot of connections in the new field. And like you mentioned, you just started to have conversations with potential customers, and they replied to you. But it's not so easy for everyone. Can you tell like a few main things that help you to reach out to the people and get the feedback from them?
First of all, I was not like selling them anything. I was just really curious about their problems and their workflow. I was introducing myself that I'm tech entrepreneur, I'm a startup founder, and right now I'm about to create a new product, and I would like that this product will help you. Can you tell me, please, what is your problem? Maybe I can solve it with the product. So this is the first thing that people are...
Sorry, how many versions of that first message did you have?
I don't remember, like 5, 10.
Okay, because like in the US, people value their time, and they usually like receive a lot of messages. I'm pretty sure you as well, me too, yeah. And so just like 2-3% of them that actually I'm happy to reply, and so you actually did the right job. You did wrote the good message if you got important feedback on it.
Yes, and also I tried also to reach out to people who are completely new to me through LinkedIn.
Okay.
It was not that successful story, even though I got like a couple of dozens of people who were applying on that, and we started to communicate with them, but I didn't invite them, okay, let's have a chat, Zoom, wherever, because I understand that people value their time.
Yeah.
So my point was first, I introduced myself that I would like to help them, and I didn't sell you anything, just like I need your insights, that's it. And the second point was that I would like to have your insights, but in a very like common and comfortable way for you. You don't need to go on a meeting because I know you are busy. If you're able to record 1 minute, 2 minutes, or few seconds voice message to me, that's totally fine. If you have time to write down a few sentences about your insights, it's also fine. I will be glad to receive anything. If you don't have time, no pressure, it's also okay. But thank you for your time. And what I've got that mentally, when you feel that the person is really care about you, but still there is no pressure, this is much better because you already want to be involved in this person and help in some way. And also that I mentioned that I value your time, so please do in any common and comfortable way for you. Is another part. And also I started to attend different events where this potential ICP could be around. And
here in the area.
Yes, here in the area. And this is like a completely different experience because it's a human connection. And you can like start a conversation with them and just right away on the event ask like, you know what, I'm building a new product and I just need a couple of minutes of your insights. Don't need to even schedule another time in 2 months or so, right? You just like, can you just answer such questions? And I already had my questions wrote down, so I know what to ask them. And like then you follow up with them. For example, you have this first iteration, you have people who already answered on some questions, but then you iterate with your product and you give them to try. Give them to try for free. And then after they try it, you follow up one more time. You ask like, do you like it or not? Like, please share with me your insights, because you are like a creator of this product. Whatever you tell us, we will implement, or we will consider it like a feedback, and we will improve with your feedback. And people start to feel this attachment to the product. And of course, like this is the funnel that you reach out to many people then, but I have pretty high conversion even though, and then like less people start to like give a feedback, less that, but then you still have a pretty great focus group.
How many people were at your focus group?
Like about 100.
100.
Yeah.
So
But
100 conversations, 100 people that answered your questions about finding the
yeah,
problem.
but like for example, in the end, like maybe I was in touch with the very deep connections already, maybe with the half of that people who went
50.
through, yeah,
Okay.
who went through all of my funnel, you know, because in the beginning, like maybe many people answered about the first iteration, but then like could be less. And also I found out that, okay, there is a speed that some people will answer you faster and you already implement something with that feedback. And some people like will answer you in 2 weeks. So you have also kindly follow up with them, but it's okay because then the process is kind of moving that not in the same speed. All people are replying to you, but it's like a cycle of feedback. And that was crazy good experience because you actually know what to build. You're not figuring out it in your mind. You kind of like having a feedback and then like, okay, 10 people told me that they are using Breezy HR. What is Breezy HR? I started Google, what is Breezy HR? Oh, this is a huge company in ATS system and many recruiters are using this. So let us think if we can partner with Breezy HR. Then another part of people told us that they are using Workable. And we were like, okay, let's see if we can partner with Workable and create integration. Because our users told us that it's very important to them, don't switch between applications, and that we have to be implemented in their workflow.
Let us summarize a bit. First of all, what helped you to reach out for so many people? It's you mentioned your networking, yeah. So you were asking,
Yeah,
groups, events here, local events.
Yeah.
And people here, the culture is supporting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the right message. You were not asking for too much time, so you knew how to ask in the right way. What I would add from my side, what I found also very interesting is when you are acting like that, is then people like thankful for you that you ask them about their questions, about their real problems. And so they are more likely to start working with you, or even they will ask you like, hey, when the product will be ready? I want to use that product. And this is actually the best point to propose them. Maybe you'd like to have 90% of discount and they will buy before even the MVP is built. So all of this is, for me, when I listen to your story, it's like, sure, you can read it in the book, you can hear this in the Accelerator program or at university, and everyone is talking about the right ICP profile, about the customer development phase, and this is so important to emphasize, you know. And it's pretty common thing, how difficult to people to hear that, because you need to come through this tough acceptance, you know, to accept that what you built, what you have spent time on, it actually doesn't work, and you need to pivot. So yeah, congratulations that you actually did it pretty fast. So I'm really fascinated about how fast you accept that, started a new company. Even you mentioned that you was unmotivated at some period, you were tired. Yeah, I know very well, I was in your shoes. And in that moment, even to start a new company, it's also you need to have an energy, you know. So this is the very important things that I wanted to emphasize. And let's move forward. What happened next at your journey? The key milestones, and then we will move also pretty fast, as you did sell the company so fast, to the acquisition process.
Yeah. So okay, everything started with the validation of the problem, talking to people, gathering the feedback, and like the main idea that these people will be so connected to you, then you can offer to them the product, and it would be your first users. And I also I asked them, okay, can you please introduce me to 2-3 people like you, to your colleagues or to people from the industry, because I'm pretty new to this industry. I really need the help of you. Can you please facilitate a meeting or conversation introduction? And people actually did it. Some people will tell me like, I didn't know anyone, or I don't know, I don't have time. It's okay. But some people did introduce me to other people. And it was very hard because like I have to, switch between different like tools, applications, events, sometimes drive to a completely different part of Silicon Valley to just meet for 30 minutes to interview the person, because this is the person who even want to meet, So it's not like that easy. It's not that, thing which you can optimize or automate. Okay, many people think about automation, but actually this automation phase is just like later. In the beginning, you're doing everything like by heart.
You can't ask it ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, like this is about human connections. And so after we shipped the first version of product, which was pretty usable, and we realized, okay, what would be the free version and what would be the premium version, where people can log in with through integrations, right? And we went to an event to the headquarters of Indeed, very well-known company in the recruitment space, right? And they were launching something like that you can demo at their headquarters your product. And they were like, okay, this is like our time, let's try it. And I think we were the only startup which was very well prepared and which actually have the product with the wow effect, this aha moment when you just like press one button and actually it's done. Like at that moment, people were like, oh, that's cool, that's great. And other companies who kind of more mature than us for Series A, Series B, or like seed, they came to us and they started asking about the product, and we exchanged contact information, and then we started meeting them. I thought that it would be like something like we can sell licensing of our technology, or we can sell something else, so it's our potential customers. But actually people talk to us about potential acquisition. And we were impressed because like it's only a few months and people already see the potential in this idea and they want to acquire.
Yeah.
And that was the interesting point. We discussed with the team, do we want to like make it big, or do we want to try to be acquired? And we discussed that, okay, for us, it would be a very nice experience to have that acquisition process if we will have the offer which will be attractive for us. At that moment, we started to focus more on growth, but we kind of was open to conversations, and we continued the conversation because it's not only 1 to 3 meetings, right, with the person. After that, we start to see, okay, what is the point where we can have even more demand? Because once you are going for acquisition, you need to understand that you have only one product, one company, which you cannot sell to many people. When you're creating a product, SaaS company, right, you are creating it for the reason that then you will sell the same product to many people. When you have a company, you will sell only one time. And this is the thing where you need to have a very great offer and deal. And to have a very great offer and deal, you don't need to be in need to sell it. So in this way, you have to focus on the very healthy business metrics and to be attractive to many potential buyers. Creating a competition in this actually sets you for success. So after we went to Indeed, we started to have this conversation, we realized that we need to partner with, actually it was my strategy, okay, I have zero marketing budget, what should I do? I don't have the budget to run advertisements and so on. And I was like, okay, let's do very traditional old approach, old school. I was emailing big companies. And in the recruitment space, if you have 5-7 big companies, it's already 80% of the market. So I was emailing them. I found through that the right person to who I need to speak to. And after that, I show them the demo, how it works so far. And I represent that it can work also with your integration. Let us do the integration, but please open it for us.
Was it called connection?
Yeah, it was called connection.
Okay, so that's also the point, that cold connection, if you know how to do it in the right way.
Yeah, if you need it, and I don't even now you're asking me is it cold connection? Did you really to talk to strangers and people? Yes, I did, because this is completely not comfortable. I'm introvert, by the way. I don't like all of that thing. But you have to do that, and you have to kind of have that skill. Actually, this is a skill which you can develop. And so I was emailing and seeing if there is any companies who can open for us API for free, because many of them, they have closed API, and some of them open it for like $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month and more. Some of them I just never opened the API, but I was showing them how this AI tool, AI scoring system can improve overall experience of their existing users. We are not your competitors. We're just another small tool which will help your users. And they was like, okay. And I have yes from 3 companies, and then I have like 2 more, but it's another story. So we start to do one by one integration, because it's also like from the development side, it's a unique process all the time. It's not never like the same. And after we delivered the integration, we realized that we also can ask them, at least try to ask, to publish us either on their website or ask to promote us to their entire user base. And that was the crazy moment when, for example, Recruitee, the company, huge company, they was like, okay, we'll list you on our marketplace of partners. It was like LinkedIn to something launched and us. And it was, I remember that screenshot where like we just like 2 months after the start, and we have this already, implementation to their platform. And then they made a promotion to the email campaign to all the users. And that's how we got initial traction. Completely for free. And of course, then I messaged all my user base, all my focus group. And that's also how we started to have traction from them. And that's how we always like iterate and so on. And then I found out, okay, there is another part where I need to focus on, it's acquisition, and I have to create a competition. And for us, it was, okay, there is a traction, there is a technology which already have a proof that is needed in the market. It's also partnerships, very deep connections to partners. And now we have to kind of focus on growth and make sure that we are on demand as a company. Yep.
Can you walk us through the acquisition process?
Yes, sure. So acquisition process consists of, I think, 3 main stages. First, it's when you are talking to many people who just thinking that your idea is cool, and they kind of would like to open the conversation about acquisition. So they kind of basically go through your website, they maybe have a 1 call or meeting with you, that's it. The next stage is LOI stage. It's already when you decided that you as a company would like to focus on this buyer, and this buyer has offer for you. Once this buyer has already offered, they send you LOI, letter of intent to purchase a company. Company assets, wherever you have. And in this moment, you are locked. And this is very bad for founders, to be honest. Because after you sign the LOI, you are not allowed to talk to any other potential buyers. You have to stay in silence and do kind of homework. I mean, they start to dive deeper in your technology and everything what you have.
How have you protected yourself against they will look everything, discover everything, you will help them, and then they can build on their own?
Yeah, for sure. They have to sign NDA with everyone with who you open the conversation. They have to sign NDA and non-disclosure agreement. And that's first. Second, you have to have a great lawyers on your side. And I had a very great lawyers. And
where did you have them from?
From my past experience from the startup world.
Okay.
I remember when I was like calling SI saying like, I never done it before.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to do it. Is it possible in general? Like, I see this like pretty common agreement, which I found on the internet. Is it true? Is it possible to do that? I also need to mention there is the platforms where you can sell your business. This is also how we create a demand, because we start to list our HireGPT on that platforms. And it's also pretty impressive thing what that platform's done so far, because they can educate you on many things. They have lots of information, and also you have a support team where you can type and say like, okay, I have this question.
And did you receive any interest from that platform?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
But you have also to be careful even more through that platforms, because like in real life, you will have like people who really care about this idea of acquiring you. On these platforms, you can have people who just searching for the idea and they would like to see which idea already validated and have interest on the market. So you have to be careful. You have also to screen all the background of potential acquirer, buyer, wherever, and sign NDA with everyone. And also, as a founder, you have to, be able to look through them on the first call, the second call, and so on.
I just know a story, just to mention shortly. One friend of mine, before the acquisition process started, he actually negotiated the terms where the potential acquirer paid. If they decided not to buy, they will pay you because you spend time. You may lose some opportunity.
That's great.
Yeah, and I think this is actually, it's a good point.
That's very great because for us, not the first deal actually worked out. So it was a few tries.
Yeah, and you spend time, resources, and then they say no, and they knew so many things. You learn, teach them.
Yeah, right. So they can say no because wherever, like right now, they already don't have available funds to invest or to acquire, or they just changed their mind. But you were locked and blocked. You kind of by law, you cannot talk to anyone else. So that's very could be bad experience for the founders, but still you have to be careful with who you are talking about that. And just have a great lawyers. That's it. And be not afraid of being not comfortable for them. That was my mistake, to be honest. I was too nice, I believe, in the beginning. But once you're going through all the business, all the process, you just already not maybe that you could be nice, but when it comes to the real deal, you have to also protect your rights. You have to also dictate your rules. Of course, not everything will be how you want, but somewhere you will meet in the middle of the conversation, but you have to also fight for your rules, for your rights, and for what you want.
Cool, very interesting. So there are two versions in Bay Area when the founders launch a new startup, and some of them include the exit strategy in the pitch deck, and some investors more likely to see this in the pitch deck, and other group of people, they say, no, it's not impossible to include and think about that so early. What do you think?
To be honest, I don't know, because with my first startup, I never had included exit strategy. With the second, we just bootstrapped. So that gave us the freedom to actually do whatever we want to do with the company. And that's the beauty of that. Because I believe if we will raise money for that, we will not have so much freedom to sell the two company assets in any moment we want to do that. Do they need to include the strategy of exit? As a founder, you have to understand what you want from your life. Do you want to exit with this amount of money, or you would like to go to IPO, or you would like to have options? That's what I like, to build a business in the way when you always focus on great healthy metrics and you always attracted for potential buyers. Right now I understand this strategy and I understand this workflow. But this gives you, more flexibility, and you have less risk because life is so unexpected, right? And as a founder, you put on risk so much time, years of your life, right? Years of your life, many other things. Investors are having risk with the money. Founders also sometimes have risk with the money a lot. But focusing on healthy business metrics just give you flexibility. About exit strategy, it depends on your investor. Maybe if you're raising from the big VC, then you need to include it. But if you're raising the very initial round, angel round, I think it's more about founders and idea. That's it. And a market. You have to show how big is the market, so how big is the opportunity. And
you need to know that actually.
Yes, and then know to count and then to present.
But it depends on your goal, because not every person are going to build a unicorn. Even very often many people say that we are going to build a unicorn.
Yes.
But in effect, they don't know the numbers. It's just like a dream. So, and I do believe that actually thinking about the exit strategy is pretty helpful at the early stages, because at least you can think about what amount of money you can have on the potential exit, when and who in the industry bought other companies, which companies are more likely to be acquired. And so it may influence your decisions on this very first customer development phase.
100%, I agree with you. So as a founder, you have to know that. like, okay, if you have this disruptive idea which will change the market, then maybe you really like, okay, we will go to IPO. That's the only plan. That's the only goal. But what if it's not that disruptive idea? It's just a great company,
Business, yeah.
startup, which will grow into a very great cash flow business.
Yeah.
And then it's different, because then you, okay, I would like to partner from the very beginning from X, Y, Z leaders on the market. And that's what we've done in HireGPT. And right now, every time when I will start something, I will do the same, you know. I will think about who are the top companies in this industry to who we are not direct competitors, but we will bring additional value to their customers, or we can partner somehow, or to develop in any way our human connections.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the first. And then as a founder, I also need to understand how many years I would like to dedicate to that, if everything goes well, right? When I'm healthy, when I have resources, energy, passion.
It's everything about the
desire.
strategy. It's everything about the strategy that meets the reality. I like that.
Yes. And then after, okay, I would like to dedicate for that like 3, 5, 8 years, because like these days to think about I will dedicate to that 20 years all my life, I don't believe this. Just like the person don't know himself or herself very well. And after you already understood how many years it will take, like you can dedicate to this idea, then you need to count how much time do you have to invest in this idea, because in the beginning maybe you will not get any salary or any paychecks, you know, anything. So how much runway do you have as a founder? Like 1 year, couple of months, 2 years, 5 years, wherever. Because it's very also important to understand when you need to raise, if you need to raise for this idea, and for how long will last your motivation. Because at the moment when your money is just already spent, the motivation is decreasing so drastically down. So you need to think about that as well.
Cool. Thank you very much for sharing. So what Anna does today?
Okay, after selling HireGPT, I was thinking what I would like to do, and it was also pretty interesting period of my life. But because I have marketing expertise and AI expertise, many founders start reaching me out and asking like, okay, can you help us to figure out this and this and this? And it was even not the like founders who just started, it was already founders who were in the game for 5 years, have profitable business and so on. And from that, it just was made Forcify. It's a consulting, AI consulting, where we transform businesses from non-AI into AI-powered businesses. That's first. And second, we also implement AI marketing automation into the business operations.
So we would also be happy to have you as a mentor in Raisable Founders Hub with your experience.
Yes, it's a great opportunity for me to mentor people who are doing great things, because actually founders is the people who are really driven and who would like to change this world for the better, as well as having a great business from that, which is of course understandable. And I remember when I just realized how many like mistakes or how many great things I've done, I just wanted to share with many people, because I was like, okay, don't do this or do this, because this will lead you to your next goal, and this will just be a waste of time.
Yeah, so my interest is how to ask the right questions to the people in that way that they will finally hear this, because you could do much more mistakes, you know. You actually did a pretty good job when you accepted the reality and you started to do something new. Because very often I think people are so focused on the investments that they forget about the value of their own time. And actually you can make money, you know, you can lose money, make money, but you have just one life resource, time, that is going. And so how important is to remember where is your life going. You can also, okay, some people say it's our experience, and of course it's pretty valuable, okay, if you are spending your time and just getting experience, but in effect, usually you have another goal and you want to reach your goal and as soon as possible. And so setting the right goals, understanding the reality is crucial, even to raise the investments.
And risks as well, and try to focus on being in the position where you don't need the money, because once you don't need it, money will come all the time. When you're in need and you're desperate about raising money, no one will give you money.
Yeah.
And once you're already like in the position, okay, we have a product, we have initial customers, we already validated this is a true working idea, and we will go either in our own way, but it will be like maybe slower, but we will still will be okay with that, even without you. Or we can go faster with your investments. And this is like mind-blowing thing. And of course, like if you are an investor and the founder is talking to you that we already in a good position, we already validated, we are confident that it's working just because of ICP, right? Just 3 letters.
Yeah.
But you've done it right from the very beginning. This is like fundamental work. Then it's more secure for you as investor to give money and to be part of that venture, right?
Yeah, I can discuss this topic like for hours.
Yes.
And I'm super happy that we recorded this interview today. I'm pretty sure we covered a lot of valuable things that our audience can use. And I would ask you to finish the interview with some message to founders, the early stage founders.
Okay, that's hard because I have a lot of messages. But in general, you have to value your time and to try to get to the position where you are not in need for anything, for anyone, because this is a position of power. And once you are taking your power to yourself, that's a completely different story. But for that, you have to be always honest to yourself. You have to always look back and evaluate how far you actually get and what you need to do in order to get the next milestone. And one more time, when you remember about value of your time, then you will either move faster or you will quit faster, because you just understand, okay, this doesn't work and I don't know how to do that. Maybe I need to iterate, do it one more time, go to learn from someone, work maybe for someone in the company, in the startup, and I will see how it's working. Because once you try to kind of do everything by yourself, just relying on yourself without any knowledge, without any experience, it's just much harder. And it's okay. Oh my God, I never knew that I can tell that. But it's okay to fail, because you will fail more times than you will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Don't be afraid of that. That's okay.
Thank you very much. It was a great conversation. Looking forward to future success. I'm pretty sure that you will have much more success in the future.
Many exits.
Many exits, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview, this highly valuable content from the person who actually did a few startups, who actually accepted the failure and succeed after that. And again, I would ask you for the support for this channel, because what we do is actually to provide you with such a content about the real stories, not just about the theory. So don't forget to subscribe, ask your questions. Maybe some of you would want to ask for how much Anna sold her company or anything else, and share with a friend who may benefit from watching the interview. See you soon.